Hey everyone, today I would like to talk about 7 surefire ways that your IT guy may be overcharging you. And we have this report online or PDF. You can download it, but we would like to share with you here. And here with me today is Russell Poucher, the CEO of Creative Resources Technology Group. Welcome, Russell.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
The first question I have for you today is why is it not ideal for clients to pay for their tech work hourly?
Now, and that's a great question, and it's one that we get all the time. The reason why you want to go on a fixed pricing is pure value. Because if I'm going out there on an hourly basis and I decide that I'm going to send a junior tech, that junior tech might take 10 hours. So you're going to pay $10 or 10 hours times whatever the hourly rate is. Versus if you send a seasoned tech out there, that seasoned tech might get the same thing done in just 2 hours. And it's very much like the medical profession, right? When you're talking to your doctor, there's a lot of things that you may not understand exactly what he's saying, and he might say, we want to run this test, we run this test and this test. That's more billable services that they're making. Well, any tech that's billing by the hour might also say, we need to add this, 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 and this, and it's going to take your bill from what you had as an expectation of, let's say, $2,000 and escalate it up very quickly from there. So having a fixed all-in pricing means this is my statement of work, and I've got a clear statement of work just like I would get from a contractor that says creative resources are going to do all these different things for me, and this is the exact number that I'm going to pay for it. Now, if we go out of scope, yeah, there could be a change order, but if we stay within scope, we're going to get everything done for that exact price, and you've got your budget nailed. And it makes it a lot better for you and a lot more value for the client.
How important it is, to check for testimonials, and why is that?
Testimonials are a great thing. When most of us go out to a new restaurant, we look at what the reviews actually say on Google or Yelp. So why should it be any different with an IT provider? My client should have all kinds of good things to say about me, or I'm not doing something right. So I want to make sure that we're keeping our clients happy, keeping them top of mind, and making sure that we're taking care of all of their needs. And if we do that and we do a great job with the customer service side of things, our clients are going to want to give us great testimonials that really escalate our services above some of the rest of them out there. Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know. And how do you ensure that the contract is well drafted?
We have, that's another great question because we've gone through so many iterations of our contracts, and we look at them on a yearly basis. We have our attorneys look at them based on what are the current conditions in the state of California or whatever state that you're actually in. And they make sure that we're compliant with all the laws and that it's equally protecting the client as well as protecting the managed services provider, because we want that protection always in place for both parties, and that's the terms of how we're going to do business. That way you're not going to get ripped off either. So make sure you've got a good contract in place and you've read it thoroughly. Yeah.
Well, that's really important to know. And say like an MSP, how many techs they should have in general?
That is a great question because it really is determined by what type of work are they doing. So you want to know that as we bring on new techs, each one has an expertise in a slightly different area. And I love it because we'll give projects to them. Maybe it's a Microsoft 365 project to this tech because they're an absolute expert at this. Maybe it's a Mac expert. I mean, most of the techs that I hire are Mac experts in and of themselves. And so having any kind of tech with a specialized experience is going to be beneficial to the client. If the client is hiring us and we have no experience in that industry or with your software, that's probably a bad value proposition for the client. You want to make sure that we know what we're doing going into it and that we're not learning on your dime, because it's going to be very frustrating for you as the client. And that's not something that we want. So what is the number of techs that you actually need to have? There is no magic number. We've got a lot of techs that do the remote support. We've got a lot of techs that come on site and help you out. And again, they each have their certain expertise. So we try to find the right tech for your particular project and your particular job. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. And just curious, can you can you explain IT and technology to everyone without speaking the tech language and, using that, like, what's the best way to communicate with clients at the same time?
So the best way by far is to not use geek speak. In my industry, we have a lot of acronyms, and so as techs, we'll throw around those acronyms to the clients, and my job is to not make you feel stupid. I don't want something that's going to go over your head and you feel too nervous to ask me what you just mean by that. I want to be able to speak at your level and say, well, so you're an expert in this, I'm an expert in this. Here's how we mesh. Here's how we say the same thing, and make sure that you know exactly what I'm talking about. So by the time I'm done explaining something to you, I really want you to say, yeah, okay, I totally understand that. I don't need to know anymore, but as long as you got it taken care of for me, I'm great with that. And that's kind of the approach that we take. So we try to never do the geek speak, or when we get the feeling that it is geek speak, then we'll change the tone and try to explain the details a little bit better.
Okay, okay. That's so good. Last question I have today is, do you have a platform that you use for tickets, and what's the name of the software?
Yes. So what is the platform that we're using for ticketing? It's actually called a professional services automation program. The one we use is Autotask. There's quite a few out there. They're very good at what they do, but they help us to track all of your issues so that when you've got a problem, we can track it over a long period of time to say, well, Joe has had this problem for the last 3 months straight. Gosh, we got to step up our efforts and make it a lot better. We've got to do better on our customer service side, because we want it, when you call us with a problem, we want it one and done, and we fixed it. It's not a Band-Aid fix that's going to pop back up unexpectedly. We want to make it a long-term fix for you. So everything gets tracked in our system. Even if you're not putting a ticket in, we're putting it in on your behalf, and we're writing everything down and documenting everything so that we can go back to it and say, oh, here was what was done 3 months ago. So that didn't work. Let's try something different. Because troubleshooting is all about narrowing down the variables. And once you've narrowed down the variables, you got your solution that drops out right here, right? So variables might take a little bit of time to go through, but we get through them all and make you guys happy clients.
Okay, that's such a good answer, and all the answers you give is really awesome. Really appreciate it, and thank you for your time for joining us today, Russell.
Oh, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.